want to extend my condolences to Karen Barron and to her family on the loss of her fathers in the week of Shiva this week. Should know no further sorrow. I want to wish a happy anniversary to Debbie and Stan Solomon. Many, many more in good health. Happy birthday to Steve Weinstein. I just found out celebrating his birthday today. Should have only simcha. Next week is a great, great program. If you don't have plans, please come to shul. Shabbat morning, we have a special guest after services, Dor Shachar, who, as you'll read in the Manishma, was born in Can Yunis and risked his life to escape to Israel and is now touring North America to open the eyes of North American Jewry to the reality of what it's like living under Hamas rule and what these people are like in Gaza, who our enemy really is. So I hope you'll make an effort to attend. We also had some wonderful news this week that finally this encampment at the University of Toronto, what a friend of mine called the Tentifada, is gone. So we actually have some lawyers to thank. Lawyers get a bad rap, but it was some very influential legal arguments made from some very smart lawyers that persuaded the judge to make sure that that encampment would be taken down. And let's hope that other universities across the province take similar action to protect Jewish students and create environments of mutual respect and dialogue and not environments of hatred. This Torah reading this morning is a famous quarrel in the Bible, a unique quarrel. There are many, actually, in the Torah, many fights between the people and Moses even, but this one is special. This one gets more attention in later rabbinic literature. Commentaries say this is the kind of quarrel that one must always avoid in life. There have been many complaints about Moses in the past. The people argued with him. They even tried to throw stones at him. They complained at him. And actually, compared to what's already transpired in the Bible, this particular quarrel doesn't seem that bad. There's no violence here. The subject of their complaint is not unreasonable. There aren't even that many people involved in this fight. 250 people. And the worst act of defiance that occurs is a failure to appear when Moses summons them. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Yet Moses is exploding with anger. In the past, with other quarrels in the Bible, Moses expresses clear frustration. We've seen him curse the people. We've seen him fall on his face. We've seen him pleading with God. But never before has his reaction been so sharp as it is in this morning's Parsha. He says this, "If these men die the common death of all men, then God has not sent me." He prays not only that they should all die, but that the ground should open up and swallow them whole. There are many people in the Bible who are punished, great and small, some by sword, some by stoning, some by strangulation, but this is something entirely different. Moses wants God to implement a supernatural event, to intervene in this dispute and put an end to it. Open up the ground and swallow them up, which is what happens. What is it that makes this particular quarrel so unique? When you look at Moses' reaction, and understand that the subject at hand, the matter over which they're quarreling, doesn't seem so terrible. How are we to understand what makes Moses' reaction so severe? Why is this quarrel particularly bad? I would propose that the answer boils down to one word and one concept that I'd like to think about today, and that is betrayal. Betrayal. It is one thing to be involved in an argument with somebody who hates you for one reason or another, but it is quite another when that person who turned against you was someone you expected to be your ally, someone you expected to take your side, someone you expected to be your friend. It can happen with a lifelong friend, with someone in your own family. You see, there have been many quarrels in the past in the Bible, but in all of those quarrels, Moses was confronting an outsider. But who is Korah? Bob, what did you say? Bob said, it's the first year, when he was up here after his Aliyah, he says, the first year I noticed Korah is Moses's cousin. And he's from the same tribe, obviously, from the Levitical tribe. And when Korah is introduced to us right at the beginning of the Parsha, the Torah makes clear to indicate that this guy is from Moses' family. That's the hint. Earlier in the Torah, after the sin of the golden calf, when Moses shouts out, Mi Lashem Elai, whoever is for God, join me, when he's carrying out retribution against the sinners, the Levitical tribe and Korah are right there at his side. We're with you. We're with God. We'll help you out. We are your allies. But when, in this week's Parsha, his cousin challenges his leadership, it is an act of betrayal. And when there's betrayal, the pain is much sharper, and the sin is much more difficult to pardon. I think this explains the intensity of Moses' anger. If you have experienced betrayal before, you know there's nothing, no emotion quite like it. Betrayal is a schism. Betrayal is the severing of a connection. It is one of the most devastating experiences that you will have in your life. It results from a failure of one of the most important qualities of the human character, and that is loyalty. Ne'emanut in Hebrew. We don't talk enough, I think, about ne'emanut and how important an idea that is in Judaism. Ne'emanut is at the core of human interaction, isn't it? It is what differentiates an acquaintance from a friend. Friends are loyal to one another based on past allegiances and past shared experiences. That's where loyalty comes from. Interacting with people with whom we share common interest is not what loyalty is about. It's natural and reasonable to be allies, to share experiences and resources with people whose interests overlap with ours. Loyalty is something else. Loyalty compels dedication to people whose interests are different from our own. People with whom we may not share common interests or similar lifestyles. But what we do share are past experiences and a previous relationship. That is why loyalty is at the heart of Judaism, because Judaism is all about heritage. That's why loyalty defines our relationship with God. God is described in our prayers as Ha'el HaNe'eman, the God who is faithful. The highest accolade that God confers on Moses is, in the Torah, Bechol Beiti Ne'eman Hu. Of all his great attributes of leadership, Moses' greatest quality is Ne'emanut. He is faithful. And regarding Abraham, in our prayers, we say, Umatzata et levavo ne'eman lefanecha. We see in his heart that Abraham is loyal before God. Why this emphasis over and over again on the quality of loyalty? It's because a real relationship with God cannot just be based on passion or convenience or enthusiasm or inspiration. It can't be about common interests. Otherwise, we're just worshiping ourselves. Ne'emanut in our religious lives reminds us that even though we may not feel inspired at a particular moment, we are bound to feel loyalty to a people, to a God, to a story that gives us life, a story that defines us, a story that has supported us since we entered into this world. I would venture to say that many of you are sitting in the pews of this synagogue today because of ne'emanut, loyalty. Sadly, maybe the reason why our pews aren't as filled up as they used to be is because loyalty is in steep decline in the modern world. Loyalty in the workplace is vanishing in a world in which workers changed their jobs upon average once every 4 years. In the past, adults were loyal to their backgrounds, that is, the communities and the local institutions that helped form them in their youth. But our modern world is far too portable for these loyalties. We move around too quickly and too far to maintain local loyalties. And then there is family life. Marriage and family are each founded upon loyalty. But each of these institutions has become dismembered in a world of reconfigured spousal and family identities. We do have loyalties, but some of them are counterfeit. We choose the kind of loyalties that don't carry genuine commitment or constant obligation and don't have any moral quality to them. Some people are loyal to sports teams, which they have followed for years. It's admirable, especially in this city, but it is mock loyalty, purely recreational. It doesn't carry with it obligation that is substantive or any responsibility. There's consumer loyalty, which is enticing you to repeatedly purchase the same brand. Another bogus form of loyalty, which isn't moral, but transactional. We continue to purchase a brand because we sense greater value or even greater psychological benefit. And then there's loyalty not to political parties or political ideas, but to political leaders. This is one of the reasons I've been thinking about this issue of loyalty lately, because I think many people cite loyalty to explain their support for Justin Trudeau in Canada and Joe Biden in the United States, two leaders that many people, I would say most people say, are past their due date. That kind of loyalty to leaders because they are leaders, is what you find in dictatorships, not what you find in democracies. It is in fact not loyalty, but a sort of blind obedience to leaders because they are leaders. I would say, and it's becoming increasingly evident, that anyone truly loyal to the Liberal Party or the Democratic Party today would be advocating for these two men to step aside. Along with the other kinds of loyalties that have developed in our world, they're hoaxes. They're not real. They are substitutions for the institutions that engender actual loyalty, real connection, ne'emanut. It's unfortunate because real loyalty enriches us as human beings. Loyal people tend to conduct noble lives of commitment, duty, and responsibility. Loyalty helps us live beyond the moment and its immediate conveniences. It bridges us to our past. It bridges us to the relationships that have shaped us and to the people with whom we have shared the voyage of our lives. Loyalty showers our otherwise momentary lives with the dignity of purpose, past and of shared journey. And loyalty is essential for building strong institutions and strong nations. This is why Moses was so disgusted that this virtue, this lifeblood of Jewish peoplehood and even of humanity, was being trampled upon by his cousin and trampled on in public. Bechol beiti ne'eman hu. That's what the Torah says of Moses, the paragon of loyalty. That was his value. He showed us what it means to be loyal to God, even when faced with immense challenges and personal sacrifices. He showed us what it means to be loyal to your people, even when they sin, even when they faced God's wrath. And he showed us what it means to be loyal to your mission, guiding the people towards the promised land and overcoming complaints, rebellion, and opposition, because his eye was always on the prize. May we all learn from his legacy and all strive to embody loyalty in our actions and words, that we may be guided through every challenge and led to our greatest achievements. Shabbat Shalom.